Freedom for Kurdistan. Freedom for Balochistan. Freedom for Azerbaijan. Down, down, Iranian regime. Down, down, Iranian regime. Iranian regime terrorist. Iranian regime terrorist. Iranian regime fascist. Down, down, Khamenei. Down, down, Khamenei. Down, down, Iranian regime. Through the natural disaster by building several dams on Ahwazi River and turned the Ahwazi land from wetland to disaster land, where Ahwaz is the most polluted region in the world. Again, they are stealing our natural resources like oil, gas, diverting our water. They are persecuting our youth. And according to the Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International and also the United Nations Special Rapporteur, Iran is the second largest country in the world in terms of execution. And most of the execution is happening and occurring against the non-Persian nations, especially the Ahwazi Arab people. The Iranian occupation regime look at the Ahwazi Arab people as they are threat to its national security. Where the Iranian occupation regime officials, they are describing our land as the heartbeat of their economy. They are financing and supporting terrorism by our oil and gas. If our oil and gas will return to our people, there will be no more Iranian terrorist support to the Arabic countries and also in the European countries. When the Iranian occupation regime was discussing with the 5+1 countries, the JCPOA or the nuclear talk, unfortunately, the United Kingdom government and security intelligence. The final statement of the Ahwazi community demonstration in Britain in solidarity with our people in the city of Abadan. Our people, the brave people of Abadan city, our sons who are struggling throughout our occupied country, and to the people of the world. We watch with the burning heart that wrecked the pain and anger, the horrific incident of the collapse of the Metropole building in the city of Abadan, which claimed the lives of dozens of innocent women, men, and children whose bodies were recovered, some of whom were still stuck under the rubble. These painful incidents is only a simple example of a corruption of the Iranian occupation regime, which plunder the wealth of our people and invest them to pass its destabilizing policies for the security of the region, support for terrorist militias in Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon that are seek to obtain an atomic bomb, developed its missile program, create crisis between neighboring countries, and support regime dictatorship like Syrian regime. While the country is experiencing social and economic crisis, and most of the country's population live below the poverty line, regime officials live in luxurious life and their children enjoying country's wealth in America and European countries. Our brave people in Abadan city, Abdul Baki and his alike, are nothing but a small exemption of corruption and that is rampant in the country. the main spoiler in the entire system. Without a corrupt regime, the like Abdul Bakis would not have been able to emerge and escalate in the economic arena, and billions of embezzlements of ministers, managers, and leaders of the terrorist guard are only examples of this corruption. Abadan were the first and largest oil refinery in the Middle East. Located, most of its residents live in poverty and employment. On top of that, its wealth is plundered and become a puppet in the hand of embezzlers, spoilers, and thieves who are linked to the corrupted Iranian occupation regime. Our people in occupied al-Ahwaz, the Iranian occupation regime in Tehran, is plundering our country's wealth of oil, gas, and water, and they have not looted wealth and water, but have stolen the laughing and smile from the lips of our children. Al-Ahwaz has become a laboratory for applying all kinds of racist and fascist policies against our homeland, people, and land. The water has been stolen and brought to the central cities, and the marshes has been drained, and the agricultural land has been destroyed, and the rivers has been drained. Now, Al-Ahwaz witnessed more than 250 days of the year dust storm as a result of destruction of the Ahwazi environment. Disease and epidemic spread in Al-Ahwaz as the result of fascist policies of the Iranian regime. And yet they are not satisfied with this, but handed over the construction of the towers in Abadan to the protesters and gangs to tamper with our lives, so that to know that this system is completely enemy to the humanity. Today, we have gathered in front of the Iranian occupation regime embassy in London to be your voice of our people, and to convey the message of our people to the world. Hence, the member of Ahwazi community in London and in Britain declare their solidarity and sympathy to the families of the victims, the wounded, and the missing, and they affirm the following matters. First, the Iranian occupation regime, headed by its criminal Khamenei, is the main responsible for these incidents. This corruption has spread under its sponsorship and dictatorship. Demonstration and protest are a right of people guaranteed by international laws and norms. So we stress the need to continue protest against this criminal regime, and we have held the regime responsible for preserving the lives of the demonstrator in Al-Ahwaz. The belated visit of the Iranian officials, headed by the criminal Rئيس to Abadan, is the only way to observe the Ahwazi anger. Fourth, since justice is lacking in the shadow of this corrupted and criminal regime, and the missing things does not give it, and we cannot wait for justice to be carried out from a system that corrodes its displaced body. According, we turn to the international community, headed by the United Nations, to send a fact-finding commission into the crimes committed by the regime against our defenseless people. We call on the international community